Loneliness isn't just being alone. It's the ache of absence, of feeling unseen even when surrounded by people. It's the quiet weight that sits on your chest when you reach out and no one reaches back. It's not just solitude, it's the craving for connection that isn't met. It's sitting in a crowded room and feeling like a ghost. Hey everyone, Manta Ray here. This one's gonna be a bit more serious than usual. The 2 a.m. zoomies hit hard tonight, and instead of diving into a game or editing another thumbnail, they demand that I be productive. So I'm here, talking about something that's been weighing on me for a while. Loneliness. Before I dig too much into it, a little bit of a trigger warning. I'm going to be digging into my past a little bit, and there will be mentions of abuse and emotional neglect. Now, with that out of the way, let me give you a bit of context. My whole childhood was pretty lonely. I didn't make a lot of friends growing up. Actually, I don't think I ever had more than one at a time. Sometimes not even that. And home? Well, home wasn't really a safe place either. I grew up in a family of 7, but despite all the noise, it was one of the loneliest places I've ever been. There was a lot of abuse, a lot of things said and done that I'm still unlearning. And when you're a kid in that kind of environment, you learn to stay quiet, take up as little space as possible. You stop expecting attention, especially the good kind. By the time I hit my teenage years, I had already built walls so high that even I couldn't see over them anymore. Isolation wasn't just a habit, it was survival. But even in all of that, there was one saving grace: video games. Games gave me something I wasn't getting anywhere else. A way to connect with people without the risk of being physically present. They couldn't hurt me. They couldn't corner me in a hallway or guilt trip me into silence. There was a barrier that made it safe. Even when I wasn't playing with others, games were still a lifeline. They were fun, sure, but they were also a distraction, a place to breathe. A space that was mine, where the rules made sense and the danger didn't follow me in. I've built my whole life around video games. They were my escape, my comfort, my connection. And for a long time, they were enough. But now that I've grown up, I've started to realize something nobody tells you as a kid. At some point, you have to grow up. You have to face the world outside the screen. And when you've spent your entire life coping through escape, it hits hard. I'm 27 now, and I'm trying to learn things I should have figured out at least 5 years ago. How to regulate emotions, how to set boundaries, how to not feel empty when no one's texting you back. Basic stuff. But I never got the chance to build that foundation. Loneliness didn't just make life hard, it made growth feel impossible. It pushed me into survival mode so young that now, as an adult, I'm left trying to patch together pieces of myself that never had a chance to fully develop. Then I transitioned, and things got a lot more real, and honestly, a lot worse before they got better. I used to think I didn't have emotions. I was always the stoic one, quiet, detached. But the second the estrogen started doing its thing, it was like every feeling I'd buried just exploded. Suddenly I couldn't hold things back. There were tears, panic attacks, joy so intense it hurt, grief I didn't know was still in me. Everything I'd locked away came rushing out all at once, and I had no idea how to handle it. It was overwhelming, beautiful in some ways, but also terrifying. And to make things worse, it didn't happen in a vacuum. Friends pulled away, family grew distant or downright hostile. I was already dealing with a lifetime of loneliness, and now I was more isolated than I'd ever been. The one time I needed connection the most, it felt like everyone stepped back. Eventually, things did get better. Not perfect, not fixed, but better. I found some stability, some moments of peace, even a little joy here and there. But if I'm being honest with you and myself, I still haven't figured it all out. Maybe this video is just another way of coping. Maybe it's my way of moving on, or at least trying to. Lately, the loneliness has been showing up in new ways, dangerous ways. When someone actually wants to spend time with me, when they see me, I latch on hard. Feels like life or death, like I finally found water after crawling through a desert. But that kind of desperation, it's heavy, it's suffocating, and it's driven people away, people I cared about, people I would have done anything for. Now I'm left picking up the pieces of a heart that's been broken in ways I didn't even know were possible. Some days, I honestly don't know if I'll ever be okay again. But even with all of that, the hurt, the isolation, the mess I've made of my relationships, I'm still here. Still trying. Still learning. And maybe that's enough for now. I've started to realize that healing doesn't look like waking up one day and being fixed. It's more like sitting with the discomfort, recognizing the patterns and choosing every single day to break them. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I'm learning how to give people space without spiraling, how to love without cleaning, and how to be alone without assuming I'm unworthy. It's not easy. It's slow. But it's happening. And maybe the most important thing I've learned is that loneliness doesn't make me broken. It makes me human. And being human means I still have the capacity to connect and grow. So if you're watching this and you're feeling that same ache, that hollow, that quiet kind of pain that loneliness brings, I want you to know something. You're not broken. You're not unlovable. And even if it doesn't feel like it right now, you are not alone. I know how heavy it gets. I know what it's like to feel like you're too much and not enough at the same time. But you're still here, and that means something. That means there's still time for connection and for growing and for healing. It won't happen overnight. You'll mess up. You'll backslide. But little by little, you'll find your way. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll look back and realize that even in your darkest moments, you are becoming someone stronger, someone softer, someone more you than you've ever been before. So hang in there, feel it, learn from it, and keep going. You matter. Even if it feels like no one sees you, I do. And I'm rooting for you.